we will be celebrating together. We will celebrate also the time that we know each other. I think there is a lecture, and the lecturer is perhaps already a little nervous. The guru, but it's a spiritual journey from the perspective of a disciple. So we will hear a little, and I would like to meet the lecturer before to perhaps give some perspectives that might be included. See, there will be disciple meeting, there will be Vyasa Puja, all these celebrations, and more lectures will be called the ideal disciple relationship. It's really a lot of emphasis on this transcendental relationship. And as I told all of you as we arrived, this relationship will always remain one of the sweet secrets on the bhakti path, because the relationship guru and disciple is much more than just a relationship between two people. In this relationship, God can appear. That's the whole idea of the relationship. And the appearance of the Lord in his many ways as avatars, holy name, avatar, deity avatar, etc., will always be a little bit beyond our human understanding. We will never be able to fully grasp it. We can only feel it when intact, just like with chanting the holy name. Uh, how can you understand that this is Krishna? But when you chant properly, you can experience the presence of the Lord, no? Or deities. How can you understand with your eyes how in this form the Lord is present? But if you are in the right mood, in the right darshan mood, oh, you can feel encouragement and the awakening of inner knowledge. All these things cannot be understood rationally, but they can be understood or experienced, I wanted to say, in the purified heart, or when we do things properly. So uh, for me, this festival is time to reflect deeply about my own relationship to Srila Prabhupada and the person who looks at you at the moment from this beautiful installation, Lord Nityananda. Good, so I'm unlimitedly happy to be there. This is, for me, the most relaxed festival. uh, right after it, we go to India, where we have an international retreat again. And then I go to Rishikesh, where I participate in a huge festival. We have been invited, the banks of Mother Ganga, and so on and so forth. This is a festival of wonderful, of a very heartwarming relationship. I'm also aware that many of my disciples will be able to look on these lectures, you know, later in the future, or they will be with us through these little, through YouTube and Facebook. I think it is live stream. I greet also all of you now and those who see a future. Good. I will sing a little bit, Kirtan, but very brief. Let me just see if I. Yes, I have. Namo. Please join me. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Bharani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. My dear devotees, may I ask you if singing and then singing to Krishna, or if you are still a little bit in your mind, please, from the sound we can hear that you can still be a little bit more focused on Krishna. Please sing to Krishna. Please sing now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, one more time, please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama one more time, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radhe, Radha Madan Mohan, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Hari. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srila Prabhupada ki. Once again, welcome, 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 welcome. If I reflect about our relationship, I think in the majority of cases, the large majority of cases, it is a relationship that is arranged by Krishna. I recognize that there are also relationships which have to do perhaps with some old karma or which just happen on such a deep level. I call these lift relationships. You know, the people meet in a lift and after two stories or levels, they disperse and they do not meet again. Yes, this is also there. There are, it is unavoidable, I think. But by and large, the majority is a relationship, which is the majority of cases here. We find ourselves in a relation organized or arranged by Krishna. There are many verses in the Bhagavad Tam and also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that by divine arrangement we meet a spiritual master. Normal relationships happen under the force of time, karma. In the Bhagavatam, the example is given that twigs and leaves will meet for some time on the river, and then they will be separated. Or there's one very nice verse in the sixth canto where described how normal relationships happen almost accidentally. This is the translation. As small particles of sand come together and are separated by the force of the wave, the living entities come together and are sometimes separated by the force of time. You remember when you visit the banks of an ocean and you see the waves coming in, bring some sand particles together, and they tumble and move towards the beach, and then the receding waves bring these same uh, sand particles apart from each other. Like I met many people today at the autobahn, and if you really like the new color of my dhoti, I remember when I went into the bathroom, a few went like, "Ah!" Yes, I said, no color. So, but just like brought together, we are also separated again. It happens by the force of time. However, the relationship we have amongst ourselves, most cases, are arranged by Krishna. There's the Bhagavatam, a beautiful narration of an assembly of saints. They are there sitting in the forest, and a question haunts them. What is the best way to counteract the influence of the Kali Yuga, which is just around the corner? It's just coming. And then Sutta Goswami, who acts as their Shiksha Guru, comes and explains that yes, there is a very good prospect in the age of Kali, that is to hear about Krishna and to chant about him, no? And then the saints, or these people who are in the assembly, they address Sutta Goswami, and they reflect about the meetings. They say, "Mm, mm, uh, only by our very good fortune uh, did we meet, and we now accept you as our guru. You will be like the captain of our ship, and you will help us to navigate the ocean of Kali Yuga, the ocean of faults." So, in the same way, disciples, I recognize that they are also devotees. You are not my disciples, and you are also very welcome, of course. But those who are disciples, they know we have met. I would not have met him. My life would have taken perhaps a different course, a different direction. And I would love to meet him again and again, so that my life again takes a good directions. And that's why we come to such festivals. It's to meet again, come together again, to touch our hearts again. You must know, in our meeting there is one particular essence. And I think only if this essence is understood can the guru-disciple relation work. There is one particular aspect that you can obtain in the guru-disciple relationship that is very helpful. And that is hints or instructions and so on to move forward on the spiritual path. Did you know in this world there are many things you are busy with? What are you busy with? I see one devotee dreams about making money. I better don't look into any in the crowd, otherwise I will say things and immediately you are frustrated with me. Uh, uh, Internet, phones, yeah, making, earning our livelihood takes quite some time for many of us. Relationships, to form relationships, to maintain relationships, takes quite some effort in this life. Mm, mm, to build our existence and so on, to make phone calls, to drive a car, to put money into the bank, and so on. Do you know that all things in this world can be done by others, except one thing that lies only in your hand? That is your spiritual practice. People, they are better talkers, better money makers, better dreamers, better book writers, better singers than you. The world has a lot of this, but there's one thing that you can do that will make a huge difference. That is your own spiritual practice. And the Srimad Bhagavatam tells us that very mature people, after they have made a lot of experience, they are only interested in this one effort, this one, the spiritual practice that puts them, builds them up in the spiritual world, so to say. Did you ever think of spiritual practice like this? What you do here, and I'm not speaking about construct, what you do in your spiritual world, that builds you a place or guarantees you a place just next to Krishna. That is what spiritual practice can do for you. This in the Bhagavatam, it says, Tasyeva heto ayate to govida. Intelligent people should endeavor only for that which is not obtainable even by wandering from Brahma Loka down to Patala Loka. Think about this. Are you endeavoring for only that is not obtainable by wandering from Brahma Loka down to Patala Loka? I heard today there are two devotees in Paris because one devotee likes to attend car shows, not mannequin shows, car shows. No? So that car you can get uh, in this world, but there's something you cannot get. The verse continues: sense enjoyment, for which everyone endeavors, can be obtained automatically in the course of time, just as in course of time we obtain miseries without desiring. Happiness, in other words, and miseries come automatically to you. Spiritual benefit doesn't come always automatically to you. Prabhupada explains this. The philosophically inclined person should try to get into the permanent life of bliss and knowledge. Arishyam, permanent life of bliss and knowledge. Wow, that's a new concept, where he will not be forced to return to this miserable material world. He should not be tempted by material positions. This is why we meet. We are a group of treasure hunters who look for treasures not in America, not in Japan, not in Bangladesh, not in Germany. We look for the transcendental treasures that are have to do with love, love of Krishna. Yes, very special meeting, very special assembly, very special goal. Now you must know this bhakti, and here I will almost end. It is wonderful. It sometimes happens that on the path of bhakti, we become so much confronted with our human reality that temporarily we can leave the path of bhakti. We are meeting, for instance, our material desires, which again rise their face, or we are covered with a lack of determination. And there are a few of my disciples who have not been able to maintain their vows very successfully. But you must know bhakti is so wonderful that nothing which you do on this path ever lost. It's an eternal investment. It will always stay with you. And in this way, the glories of bhakti are established beyond all achievements in the world. You will have to leave everything. I was a little bit emotionally touched. My mother had beautiful, how do you call this? Patience? Schmuck. How do we say schmuck in jewelry? Yes. Spanish, Italian, Morocco, all types of jewelry. When she died, she could not, of course, she could not take any jewelry with herself, but she wanted that her jewelry would be worn by ladies in the family, the next generation. But the ladies in the family, I heard, came to this huge collection of jewelry, and they looked at everything. They said, this is the style of another time, We and your friends, maybe the friends want to have something. No, we are all young people. We like modern jewelry, but this looks like as if we have come out of the grave, and everything had to be sold to Poland. That's where everything goes in Germany. I mean, there are lots of Polish production. I don't want to say like this, but usually, at least in Berlin, we see always the cars which are old, broken abroad over the border to Poland. So we say in North Germany, I mean, in the village which I live is, everything goes to Poland. Does not. I hope it's not a hurtful statement. So, yeah, everything goes to which you do here. The material energy flows back like that. I felt hurt because my mother was, and I can't veer it, I felt temporary exist. She was so proud of having this collection of jewelry. Also, all the books of my father are sold on the flea market. No one is interested in it because everything is temporary, and no one can take what is precious to them with you. But bhakti, or with them, but bhakti, my dear devotees, even if you are not successful in this one lifetime, it will never go away. There is a verse about this which I would like to sing for you. Navai jano jatu katanchana brajan mukunda divyan yavad anga sangsritim smarang mukundangri upaguhanam puna vihatum ichenna graho jana. Oh, it says here. The person who serves the Lord Mukunda will never under any condition turn to the material world. Unlike practitioners of other processes, remembering the embrace of the Lord's lotus feet, eager for the taste he has experienced, he will not desire to give up those feet again. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, even if a devotee is overcome because of poor determination and due to misfortune leaves the process, the person who has once served Mukunda never returns to samsara, the world of birth and death. So he says, even though one may give up by his own choice the worship once, so you may bloop once, twice, or you may fall down 2 times in your life, or 3 times because of poor determination. Now your determination is not so strong to say no to Maya. After some time, he will remember his state of bliss from remembering the Lord, and also remembering his present state of distress. He will remember, now I'm not happy, but I was happy. He repents. Oh, what have I foolishly done? Let that be. I will not again abandon worship of the Lord. Then he begins to worship the Lord. In other words, sometimes you may not be successful. There may be your conditioned nature, which comes, for instance, you may have been a thief of money and you may steal again in bhakti. We saw this in our community. Or you may have been attached to sense gratification, and again you will fall in the same trap and do things that are not helpful for total advancement. But ultimately, the glory of bhakti is such that you will not be able to forget it. You will instead remember your past bliss and see the suffering which you are undergoing by not being in bhakti. And the reason is that in bhakti, from the very beginning, that is, where one only has the desire, I want to taste something in bhakti, one gets a little taste And it is described that like a ghost that never leaves you. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says. When someone is haunted by a ghost, that stays. The ghost is with you. Other, you meet an exorcist or something. You are all from Western life, but this is very common in Bengal and so on. You have uh, you are haunted, in other words, by the bhakti ras that stays with you. Yeah, I once saw a ghostly possessed person. It was already 20 years. I heard from the people in the village, and he was still having this. So in the same way, Krishna consciousness will will stay with you, will stick with you. Bhakti will stick with you. Therefore, every one of us, determined or not so determined, heroic or not so heroic, uh, should feel bhakti is very powerful, and in the association of devotees, mm, where we meet our spiritual master and progress in bhakti, mm, there's nothing more covetable. Covetable means desirable than uh, advancing in bhakti, and that's the idea of this festival. Mm. See this beautiful photo. You appreciate? It is Nitai Chand, the moon of Lord Nityananda. A moon rises in the night, and he gives the light of from him to everyone. Uh, a person who is awake, who's not awake, a thief who's just trying to break into the house of a householder, a lover that returned stormy night, um, those who need to work in the night and go by transportation. They all get the moonlight without discrimination. So the festival we're going to celebrate is the appearance day of this Nityananda, who is willing to distribute his mercy to everyone who just happens to be there. And I hope that the heart of Lord Nityananda will get all of us, will get into our hearts. And I know some of you have to go and after some days and will not be there for the whole festival. Don't worry, you made it to the you made it into the room where the mercy will flow. So that mercy will reach you, mm, no matter how long you are able to stay in the room. What I want to say is, this is not about locality. It is about mm, tuning ourselves into the consciousness of a receiver. Yeah, this is what I wanted to say. I wanted to highlight, in other words, our relationship. I always feel like this when I look at the relationship with each one of my disciples. Mm, uh, and I just met a disciple with did not have so much close contact over the last few years, and we took time to sit together and talk about this relationship, but also about Krishna consciousness, of course. And we really saw it was a meeting that brought both of us in contact with this mystery of the Guru Disciple relationship. I would even say, fasten your seatbelt, this transpersonal relationship. What I mean with this, it goes far, far, far beyond human relationship, where, let us say, an American man meets a German man who is dressed in beautiful color, a beautiful color. Mm, um, I'm saying it because understood. Not all of you like my new color. But, surprised, in other words. So yes, it goes far, far beyond. I always say the guru is when the disciple is more than just. It's a different level, and therefore let's keep it sacred. And when we don't always stand it, or it's not the way our mind flows at this moment in time, doesn't matter a bit, because this is something which is of a spiritual nature. Hare Krishna. Yes, I wanted to end here already, but not without seeing if you have any questions that you would like to say or a subject like to address, where I can say something hopefully inspiring. But it's so nice to see all of you. Krishna, Krishna. And I hear many of you are just coming uh, the mm, as we approach more the weekend. Today, Friday, is travel day for many of you. And Saturday, Sunday is festival day. Could you understand what I wanted to say? What? No, I'm serious. I might ask you a few questions this time. Shyamananda, what did you? Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Wonderful, Shyamananda. Wonderful. I knew that you would. Would the reason why I think this is so important, because we might miss this point. I'm in the situation that I, of course, talk to many, many, many devotees, uh, and they talk about their relationships with their spiritual masters, and mm, invariably, or it's not cannot be avoided, because the human condition is like this. They point out, um, how do you say, yeah, some satisfaction perhaps in the transmission of knowledge. And I always think to myself, yeah, I've been there also. I have read Prabhupada's books, and then compared his commentaries of other acharyas, and sometimes I found a lot of clarity in these other things, and I've asked myself why, and so on. I have during my time with Srila Prabhupada, I only remember fond memories. Mm, just it was because Srila Prabhupada demanded such a, not demanded, he didn't demand it, he commanded so much respect, that, and also when we saw him, there was just this total transcendental dimension. He was clearly a siddha, a perfected soul, whereas a person like me considers himself a sadhaka, no? Someone who tries to do his best in his spiritual practice. I would like to give you an example which just came to my mind. It's um, when Prabhupada was, he had to leave America to get a green card that is an addition to the visa that allowed long-term stay in America. So he went for visa work to Montreal in Canada, and his work was an invitation to Montreal was facilitated by a Bengali gentleman called Mr. Mukherjee, who was very friendly, but somehow he something went sour for Mr. Mukherjee, and this came out when Prabhupada gave a lecture in a Catholic mission, Catholic girls' school, not missionary school, girls' school. At the end of Prabhupada's program, Mr. went up and started to insult Srila Prabhupada. Don't you see, they have their religion. Why do you come to preach this Hindu religion and only confuse them? Prabhupada, and he didn't answer, which was very untypical. In the past, he had, when this question came up, he said, "We are not Hindu. Um, uh, this The sun is never German or American or Canada. So God is never Hindu or Christian or anything." So he had said in the past, he had given such an answer. This time he said humbly and did not respond to the challenge and the insult. Mr. Mukherjee went on for some time. Then after a month, when Prabhupada's visa work was done, he was about to leave the next day. He told Gopal Krishna Maharaj, that at that time he was known as Gopal, please contact Mr. Mukherjee and asked him, I would be so glad if he could come. Gopal Krishna says, why do you want to see Mr. Mukherjee? I mean, he made such a scene. And he fell into your bag and insulted you. Why do you want to see? And since we are at the point, why did you not react and defend Krishna consciousness against this unreasonable attack? And Prabhupada said no. And then after some time he explained, I have done something in my past life. I have offended Mr. Mukherjee. He came back to give it back to me. And therefore I had to tolerate. Now it's equal. Gopal Krishna, what a vision he sees in his past life, whom he met, and then he recognizes them in this life. My God. Ooh. So he went to Mr. Mukherjee, and Mr. Mukherjee was just, it seemed he had just waited for this invitation. So he came along and he said, Prabhupada, I'm so sorry that I said this foolish thing, I don't know why. Srila Prabhupada did not explain why it had happened. Past life entanglement needed to be solved. But he just forgave Mr. Mukherjee and helped his spirit to rise again. He became joyful. So when we were with Prabhupada, all these things would happen. One day, or for many days actually, when Prabhupada left, a cat came and walked around his leg, and made meow, meow, meow. And Prabhupada stopped and let the cow have, not the cow, the cat have his moment of cat love. and um, and then one day this happened daily for about a week. It was found on the street, just it had died. A car had run over it and killed it. And so the devotees asked Prabhupada, this cave so affectionately towards you. What was with this cat? And Prabhupada did not answer. But later, devotees came in the room and again drilled the question. Anything? What happened? What is with this cat? Prabhupada answered, he was my disciple from the last life. And he fell down, and in this, and he did really things, became a cat. But in this life, Krishna brought us together again. I'm very happy, and Krishna took him back to him. So, when you hear this, and when you hear this mouth of a person who's not at all a sensationalist, do you understand this word? Who just says something to create attention to his person. But when you see Prabhupada so humble and so, you feel, wow, wow, he remembers. Hopefully he will remember me, and so, yeah. So when we were with Srila Prabhupada, there couldn't be any doubt in him. The way he carried himself, that he only slept 2 hours or so in the day, and then he translated, or sometimes 4 hours. What to speak of all those miracles where he levitated and whatever. But Prabhupada always told us, don't look at these. They have nothing to do with bhakti. When you saw him, for instance, crying for Krishna, and you felt the atmosphere going into your heart, and you felt like absolutely blissful and transcendental. But yes, Prabhupada left the body, time went, days and years came, and in the absence of the Guru, it is sometimes not easy to always be tuned in. So I know this the situation when it's not so alive, so to say, the relationship. And therefore, I wanted to always to remind us there is a dimension there that deserves our attention. Did not just meet like the sand on the beach, which was flushed by the waves. So this life where we were born, wherever we were born, we just and then we happened to go to a festival, and we saw each other, and we spoke with each other. That's the meeting. No, there is a divine cause in it, because the content of this meeting, the essential point, the goal, the process, all this is absolutely wonderful and spiritual and everlasting. We hear, even when we due to poor determination, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, we leave that sphere of Krishna consciousness, and that means we leave not only the lotus feet of Krishna, but also our Guru. No problem, it stays with us and it will continue. Hare Krishna. So this was Shyamananda. He was giving a wonderful summary. Thank you, Shyamananda. Thank you. Very nice. Very nice to see you also. I know you have to go a little earlier to do the necessary things. Anyone would like to ask a question? Oh, Dhruv, you are also here. Hare Krishna, welcome. I didn't recognize you because of the hoodie. Nice to see you. Hari Bol. Yeah, Vihari. Am I correct? I sometimes don't see, so yes. We have a microphone for you.
Thank you very much. First, I want to say my question should not be that it must be challenging. I listen, I try to listen to all three lectures, and I hear you speak a lot of chanting of the holy name, and also we have to hear about Krishna, about his leelas and so on. That's the two important things. And you say this very often, but then I realize you actually don't speak so much Krishna Lila. And my question is why? Is it because no one is interested in it? Or no one is understanding it? Or understanding it wrong? So, of course, you speak a lot, but not so much in comparison how often we should listen to Krishna Lila. It's my impression.
This is a very good question. When you want to go from Berlin to Frankfurt, what is more important? The town Frankfurt or the train that brings you there? I know that's or the car or the bicycle. I think it is very important to speak about the means, and then leave it to the individual's maturity to do that. But having said this, it sounds almost a little, let me use a good word, explanatory. I have seen the need to speak about Krishna Lila. It's very, very, very important. And you will see, I will speak here for a lot of Nityananda tomorrow or day after tomorrow. And usually during the festivals, I speak always in the evening, Krishna Lila. We have talked about this in the Govardhan retreat, where we a lot of Krishna Katha, Bhagavat Katha, and your observation is correct, Gunya Bihari. We came to the conclusion in ISKCON we don't speak a lot about Krishna somehow. And sometimes you do, you have to be careful because it seems we don't attract so much devotees who like to hear about Krishna, and we are trying to change. So I have actually heard a Krishna Lila, and now where you have asked, I feel encouraged to speak about it. But your observation is right, Konya Bihari. It is right, and the process is not done, and remembering Krishna. And this should be done. The Bhagavatam talks about this, and I think we do a lot of at least there are kirtan melas happening. I'm traveling from one to the other, but the Krishna Lila needs to be increased. There are few devotees who see this. So once Krishna asked, so can I, because I'm convinced of what you say. Once Krishna asked Mother Yashoda Maya, whom do you like most? So Yashoda, so of course you, I like you most. Then Krishna, little boy, was asking, and how much do you like me? When you go out in the morning for playing with the calf, I cry and only count the moments until you return and come here. Oh, mother, you are crying. Mother Yashoda was stuck. It's a cry. Krishna said, then I have an idea. What, will you stay at home? I can't. uh, but we can make a full picture of me, and then you can look at the picture when I'm going. Mother Yashoda said, but who will make such a beautiful picture? It is not possible. So Krishna says, I have Shubal Shaka. We have one here whose name is Krishna Shaka, so that means a friend of Krishna. This is Subal Shaka. He's also a friend of Krishna. And they called Subal and said, Subal, he was a little boy. Can you paint a picture of me? So, Subal, you are so beautiful. Who can paint a picture? And but I know that there is one Saki who has been gifted by Mother Saraswati to paint beautiful. Who knows the name of this Saki? Chitra Saki, a village of Chitra Saki just near to Vashana. There is a song about this village. O Radha comes to this village and your footbells tingle and the light from your foot nails are illuminating the path when you come to Shita Saki's village. So yes, so they got Shita Saki to come, and Yashoda said, "Oh, Shita Saki, yes, mother, Subal has brought me here. What do you want? My little boy wants that you paint a photo of him. No, what is a photo? Painting of him." So Shita Saki looked at Krishna and said, well, I need to make some notes. Uh, Stand straight. So Krishna was there. He always went like, and Krishna said, I can't stand straight. I have to stand in my Tribhanga form, foot over, right foot over the left, knees this way, shoulders this way, flute this way. Yes, flute this way. It's so difficult to paint you in this form. I can't stand straight. The answer is when someone carries a heavy burden, somehow his body will twist. So Krishna carries the burden of love for his devotees. Even one devotee from Berlin is loved by him. So Krishna said, I can't sit. I can't sit, nor can I. So Chitta took some notes of the eyes and everything and said, Tika, Tika, and went to her village and tried to paint Krishna. But as we all, Krishna is not so easy to grasp, not in our meditation, not what to speak of in a painting. And she did 1,000 attempts of painting the ideal picture of Krishna, but always threw it away. Finally, she came back to Mother Yoda and said, I can't paint a picture of Krishna. He is so beautiful. I have been blessed by Saraswati, but it's not possible for me. So Krishna was hearing this, and he had this mission that his mother should not feel sad because she loved him the most and loved him so much that she could not tolerate passage of the minutes and the hours of the day in his absence. So when Shita Saki turned back frustrated, or not frustrated, feeling very, very unfortunate, Krishna went to her and said, you can only see me through the eye of my devotees. You must go to the foremost of my devotees and look into her eyes. Who's the best of Krishna's? Radharani. Yes, Radharani's eyes are bluish because she always looks at, at Krishna. It is said in poesy, mm, the eyes of an angel are blind because he's blind to this world. He doesn't see the world. He sees so much more and everything, you know? So Radharani is only having Krishna in her eyes. So mm, Chita Saki went to Radha, said, I want to paint a picture of Krishna. Radha was at that moment longing to be in the presence of Krishna. And she had looked on the ground and she was crying. There was a flood of tears, much like this, coming from her lotus eyes because she missed Krishna so much. But it is said when there is viraha, generation from Krishna, Krishna may not be outside visible, but he appears where? In the heart, yes. And the eyes are windows to the heart. You look into a person's eye, you can say, tell the truth now, and I will look into your eyes. And the heart cannot lie, the mind can lie. So when you do, and you look through the eyes into the heart, no lie is there. So Krishna then, sorry, Radharani did not want that Shita Saki looks into her eyes. But Shita Saki says Krishna wants that a painting to his liking and to his being alike is made. So then Radha allowed Shita Saki to look for a moment in the eyes. There she saw Krishna. She saw Krishna who's surrounded by love. You can only recognize Krishna with a loving heart. So by seeing him in that loving eyes of Radha, who gave Shitasaki a view into the loving what? Heart of Radha, no? I could see. And she painted most beautiful painting. And uh, then she brought the painting to Krishna, to Yashoda. So Krishna was just playing in the courtyard, and when Chita Saki came with the painting, it was covered with a cloth. Krishna followed it, and then Chita Saki went into the palace, lifted the veil, and Krishna, Yashoda looked at it, and then Krishna looked, and then Krishna said, "Why have you kidnapped me? This is the real Krishna. I'm only the imitation Krishna." And when Mother Yashoda heard her little boy joking like this, she felt very alive. And there are a few pictures of Krishna painted by Radha. There is a picture which is worshipped. There are a few pictures painted by a blind man about Radha and Krishna, which is worshipped. And this picture, I do not know. I would love to see this picture, but maybe in my next visit to Braj, I have an idea. I might find it, but perhaps not. Let's see. The name is not different from Krishna. Picture is not different from Krishna. Even if you have a picture in the mind, it's not different from Krishna. I decided to make an experiment how Krishna has come into this life to me. I went to the house of Siggy Jung, the famous Swiss psychologist who has enriched the Western intellectual sphere with telling us that there is an unconscious mind, no? Das Unterbewusstsein. You might have heard about it. He brought this to the forefront that most of our activities which we do are steered from the unconscious mind. It's a very, very powerful thing. Prabhupada tells the story that once a thief came to an assembly of pilgrims, and while he was, in the night, he woke up, and he felt much the desire to steal. I can see old habits are leaving very slowly our devotees and guests who come. There's this desire to cheat and steal somehow. It's very active. He came. So he woke up in the night and, what should I do? I can't steal from devotees. That is very bad. So he got up and he took the bundles and he just, in order to do something, moved them around. In the morning, the pilgrim said, "Where's my bundle? I need to take my soap and take a shower." And no one found their own bundle. And then the thief said, "I am a thief, gentlemen, a professional thief. I could not help myself. The habit was so strong to steal, but I did not steal. I just rearranged the bundles." So this is coming from the subconscious mind. People try to change, but it is so difficult for them. Or wanting fame, or wanting, I don't know, so many things, unconscious desires. So Ziggy Young and others have brought our attention there that many things we do are controlled by our subconscious mind. So I thought, if I am Krishna and so long in Krishna consciousness, then Krishna would also be in my subconscious mind, very deep. So I sat on the bench and I chanted and I asked, "Oh Krishna, Krishna, please." And all of a sudden, beautiful image of Krishna in the forest of Vrindavan came to my mind. The beautiful, it is an image I had seen on a picture before, but this time this image and smiled at me, different than a picture. And I understood for the first time then and there, it was, I don't know how long it happened, that Krishna and this picture are identical. And Krishna showed them in this Leela when he said, "You have kidnapped me." It's not a picture, no? So yes, the subconscious, we should have Krishna's image in our subconscious mind, and therefore it helps to come to the deities, to look at Krishna's form, to hear about him, and we need to do that. We need to increase it. By the way, in good Krishna Katha, you talk about Krishna, you dance for Krishna, you see a theater about Krishna. There are 5 things to do in good Krishna Katha, and watch the next ones, they will be full of these. Maybe good Krishna will dance. He doesn't look like a real dancer, isn't it, Nima? He's better at singing, no? Thank you, Konya Bihari. It's something I'm thinking about. When I first started to think of to speak about Krishna, no one was interested, and they were starting. When do we hear that talk we are used to hear? No? Habits are very strong, but now I think many are interested in Krishna, and I would recommend you really go to good sources of Krishna Katha. One is Gopal Chambu. That was a favorite uh, source of Krishna Katha from Kadamba Kanana Maharaj, and many of us are appreciating very nicely. Gopal Champu. Yeah. Every week you're reading. With Mangala, I think, no? Yeah? No? Wonderful. Thank you. So, I think we can end here. We don't want to go so late. There are many interesting things going to happen, and Gaurahari might give us an thing. Vaijayanti, may I ask you, are these the tears of Lord Nityananda, or what is it? This? Yes? No, what was in your mind? Yeah, one doesn't want to say to a devotee who something, no, 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 no. You saw wrongly. Can mean many things. Thank you, Vajajanti. It's another masterpiece of yours. Isn't it? Nitai Chanda, the movie Nityananda. What do you think, Rishabh? It's very beautiful, no? It has mm, yeah, some secrets why it is. So I can see, but you can't see. Good. So Hare Krishna, Gaura Hari, please tell us.
So, Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Everyone, we feel very happy and blessed to be able to host this festival in Orokadam and to come to this meeting point. Again, having so much time actually where we can hear from Guru Maharaj and invite and take with us. We, for those of you who were not there in the recent festivals, you might see that Orokadam is a little bit, we have quite some space missing because of the construction of the prasadam room. So just for information, we have all the prasadam event, and in between the time of prasadam, if you are hungry or like this, prasadam will be left in the pizzeria, which is in the next building on the side. So in case you can always go there in the day if you're hungry or like. But if you are thirsty, we have containers in different places. One just here in front of the prasadam room, like the big one. We have in the kitchen of the pizzeria, and we have also in the entrance of the guest house. So if you stay
Love your English, Gaurahari. It's so nice. No, 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 honestly, honestly. No, it is finally some sweetness comes in this language. Pizzeria.
there are a few words I'm always a little bit unsure about. I'm giving my best. I got improvements after reading Swami Maharaj. English has really improved. Another point is some of you were asking if I could register. It's still possible today evening, but every day you can do that. There is a schedule on Temple Door, and that is happening on the first floor of this building, which is go up the stairs. There you will find the registration place, there is a shop, and there is a Maha shop where you can also get some Mahasalam, the place for sitting. So this is all happening on the first floor. Tomorrow we have a wonderful day coming up. It's in the Swami Sacinandana Swami will tune us about qualities of Islam
yeah, of ideal disciple. Yeah.
So we will hear actually a lot about Nityananda, about Guru, but also about disciple. It's very relevant. But later on, we have disciple meeting. No, sorry, we have Guru Smaranam. So there also it might require a little bit thought or of you about maybe something valuable you experienced last year in regard to Guru Maharaj that maybe was impacting your life in a certain way. You might like to keep it and share it into the group. And then in the afternoon, we will have the disciple meeting. We have 3 hours of beautiful association with Guru Maharaj, where we can ask questions and to actually be impelled to think deeper on this topic. So that's for tomorrow. So now Prasadam will be served in the tent outside. And yeah, please also take the time to arrive if you are very eager and well rested. Modality is at 4:30. But otherwise, please take it easy the first day so that you are free for all the kathas that will be there. So for now, wishing you a wonderful time in Golokada. We hope we can host you nicely. And yeah, we look forward for many kathas from our
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Guru Hari. May I just say one small thing? Uh, Tomorrow we will have a disciple meeting. When did you say? 4 or 5? Something 5.
3
Yeah.
hours in the end of the meeting.
To be sure, you can look at the schedule. There is, yeah. Okay. Someone can look already. So in this disciple meeting, Bhagavadama, you know the time?
4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Good. 4:30 we start. I would really appreciate. We have changed it a little bit. There were some organizational reasons why. I would really appreciate if you come with some question or some subjects like the one which, for instance, our Kunya Bihari now asked. It is the quality of such meetings are really when we are tuned in. Uh, it's almost like when you play a game like tennis, for instance, you need two so that the ball can fly back and forth and that there is a exciting game. I'm giving an analogy. So in the guru disciple relationships, it's good if something comes from you also. We should see that we make it a rich meeting where really the essential questions are also addressed. There may also be questions where you feel mm, normally a little uncomfortable to ask them, but if they're real questions, uh, if they're real, nothing is not good. Everything is wonderful, and therefore I request you to bring something with you, uh, because they'll largely increase the, how would you say, the vibrancy of the meeting. I called this a little bit. I wanted to make you thinking, and I gave the title, We May Need an Attitude Adjustment. That's a powerful subject. I will speak upon this. I think there is not one in the room who is not connected with this subject. So you will, it's good if you bring your thoughts with you, and then we can have it very lively. That's very real, very spiritually uplifting. Good. So I will not more. I'm I'm so happy I made it time, or relatively in time, only half an hour late. That's nothing. And Now I don't. Now I'm getting talk, but I will stop here because you need to arrive. You need to take prasadam, and you need to rest uh, so that you can be good. Tomorrow, that is the main program, but of course I have prepared strongly on the ideal guru disciple relationship. Um, yes, good. Hare Krishna. See you tomorrow. Uh,
Sacinandana Maharaj.
so go. Yeah. Have you received my